picture this. It's 6:53 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Right. The absolute worst time for something to go wrong.
Exactly. A homeowner's hot water system has just, well, it's completely failed. Water is literally pooling across the laundry floor.
Oh, wow. Nightmare scenario.
Total nightmare. So they pick up their phone, they are incredibly stressed, and they dial the number of a local plumbing business. But the owner of that business is, still on a job site somewhere.
Yeah, under a sink, up to their elbows in pipes.
Right. And the front desk, if they even have a front desk closed almost 2 hours ago. So the call just rings out.
And it goes straight to voicemail.
Yep. And what happens next? The homeowner doesn't leave a message. They just hang up, they scroll right back to Google, and they call the competitor listed directly below.
Just like that.
That job, a $600 emergency call out, is just gone in under 30 seconds.
It is an entirely invisible loss. And the crazy thing is, it happens thousands of times a day across the country.
It really does. Look, if you are joining us through the C9 Business Network today, we have a deep dive tailored specifically for you. So a massive, warm welcome to all our C9 followers.
Especially those of you tuning in from the C9 Podcast Show and the C9 Business page.
Absolutely. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera, broadcasting from the C9 Podcast Show.
If you are an Australian business owner or a C-level executive, we're speaking directly to your daily operational headaches today.
We really are.
Because we are unpacking a massive structural vulnerability in the Australian business landscape. It's this phenomenon called the missed call tax.
Which is such a great name for it.
Right. Our mission today is to uncover exactly how much this invisible leak is actually costing you, and more importantly, how Bespoke voice AI is fundamentally solving it.
Because there is a staggering number we need to confront right out of the gate here.
Yeah, hit us with it.
Australian SMEs are losing an average of $126,000 a year to missed inbound calls.
$126,000. Just gone.
Yeah, it's just gone. And when you look closely at consumer behavior, the scale of the leak becomes, well, it becomes really obvious. Around 85% of callers who hit a voicemail simply hang up and call a competitor.
85%.
Yeah, we live in an instant gratification economy. People do not want to leave a message and just, hope someone gets back to them tomorrow.
Right, they want a solution right now.
Exactly. And across the entire Australian economy, this translates to a loss of over $8 billion annually.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because treating voicemail like a safety net it's actually like using a paper shredder for your incoming leads.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. They don't wait in a queue. They just disappear. But I have to ask, why is this so specific to Australia? Are we just uniquely bad at answering the phone?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really comes down to the structural reality of how businesses operate here.
Okay.
Consider the latest ABS data on the makeup of our economy. Out of the 2.72 million actively trading businesses in the country, a massive 63.5%, that is 1.73 million businesses, are sole operators. Wow, over half.
Way over half. And these individuals are wearing every single hat simultaneously. They are the primary service provider, the accountant, the marketing department.
And the receptionist.
And the receptionist, exactly.
Right, because you can't safely or professionally answer a phone if you are, say, a GP mid-consultation.
No, of course.
Or a tradie wiring a house, or a real estate agent running an open home. You are physically blocked from capturing that lead.
Precisely. It is a structural impossibility. It is not a matter of poor time management or laziness. It's just physics. You literally cannot be in two places at once.
Yeah, you can't clone yourself.
Right. And you cannot simply hire more people easily right now to plug the gap. Right. We are currently facing a documented 29% national occupation shortage.
So even if you wanted to hire someone, you can't find them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The traditional advice of, hiring a full-time, dedicated human receptionist just to catch these overflowing calls, it's fundamentally not economically viable for the 97.3% of Australian businesses classified as small businesses. That makes a lot of sense, especially in sectors that are booming but incredibly strained right now.
Like healthcare.
Yeah, take healthcare and social assistance. It grew 6.6% recently. They are drowning in patient demand, but bleeding potential revenue because they simply cannot get to the phone in time.
And the financial penalty for that missed connection is severe.
Break that down for us.
Sure. So in the home service trade sector, businesses miss roughly 27% of their inbound calls. And in that specific industry, the average lost revenue per missed call sits at about $1,200.
$1,200 per call.
Yeah. So a plumber missing just 5 calls a week is losing $52,000 annually.
It's a tax they don't even know they're paying because there is no line item on the profit and loss statement for revenue not earned. They're
Exactly.
paying for the Google ads, the SEO, the vehicle wraps to make the phone ring, and then essentially paying a huge penalty when you can't answer it.
That invisibility is the most dangerous part. You never see the customer you never spoke to. And, it is not just happening during the daytime rush when you are busy on the tools or with clients.
Right. There's a whole other side to this.
Yeah, the secondary wave of missed opportunities happens when the business is technically closed.
Which brings us to a fascinating dynamic, the after-hours blind spot.
It's a huge blind spot.
The data shows that between 30% and 40% of bookable inbound calls are arriving between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
And that window aligns perfectly with modern consumer behavior. Think about when working Australians actually have the mental bandwidth to do their life admin.
Sure.
To book a physiotherapist, get a quote for a new roof, or schedule a dentist appointment. It is after they commute home, have dinner, put the kids to bed, and finally sit down on the couch with their phone.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
If I'm a C-level executive or a salon owner, my doors are closed at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Do I really need to cater to someone calling during their dinner?
It's a fair question.
I mean, boundaries are important to avoid burnout, right? Why should I care about a 7.3 p.m. phone call?
Boundaries are absolutely critical for a business owner's mental health. We aren't saying you shouldn't have them, but there is a crucial distinction to make here.
With that.
You do not have to personally cater to them, but your business still needs a mechanism to capture that intent. The businesses winning in 2026 are not the ones that hired more staff or sacrificed their evenings.
Okay.
They are the ones that built smarter systems. If you capture just 2 extra after-hours bookings per weeknight at an average value of $350, that equates to $91,000 in incremental annual revenue.
Wow. That changes the entire operational math for a clinic or a trade business.
Oh, really does?
$91,000 in calls you're already getting, but ignoring because you were eating dinner.
Exactly, because those unanswered callers do not politely wait until 9 a.m. the next day to try again. They just don't.
You're moving on.
Yeah. The current landscape shows that 62% of home service businesses and 54% of professional services miss the majority of their inbound calls entirely.
The majority of them. That's wild.
Overall, businesses only answer 37.8% of incoming calls. That means nearly 2/3 of potential customers are bouncing to a competitor who does have a system in place to answer them.
It's a permanent loss of market share, not just a delayed booking.
Exactly.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Because if human staff can't cover 20-37 hours, and voicemail is essentially a revenue killer, technology has to bridge the gap.
It's the only logical step.
But we're not talking about a better voicemail greeting or one of those terrible press 1 for sales, press 2 for support phone menus that make everyone want to scream.
Oh, I hate those.
We all do. We are talking about agentic voice AI. And I want to be really clear with you listening. This isn't a digital answering machine.
Not at all.
It's a cloned, hyper-efficient digital concierge that never sleeps, never takes a sick day, and can talk to 50 customers at the exact same second.
That distinction between a traditional chatbot and an agentic system is vital to understand.
Break that down for us. What's the difference?
Well, a chatbot reads a rigid script. If you say something unexpected, it breaks and says, I didn't quite catch that. Or it just loops.
So frustrating.
Right. An agentic system, however, has actual agency. It converses naturally, it understands context, checks live calendars, negotiates a booking slot, and fires off an SMS confirmation.
All in one call.
Usually completing the entire interaction within a 3 to 4 minute call. It is executing a complex workflow, not just recording audio. And the execution is so sophisticated that 85% to 95% of callers cannot distinguish it from a human receptionist.
Which sounds like complete science fiction until you look under the hood at how the engine actually works.
Yeah, the tech is incredible.
Because there are 5 core capabilities making this possible.
Yep.
First is natural language understanding. It doesn't just scan for rigid keywords. If an Aussie caller says, hey, can I get in Thursday Arvo for a checkup? The AI knows exactly what Thursday Arvo means and maps that to Thursday afternoon in the calendar.
That cultural context is crucial. Second is real-time calendar access. It is actively pinging your availability live while the customer is on the phone.
So there's no double booking.
Exactly. Third is simultaneous call handling, which means unlimited concurrency.
Okay, that concurrency piece is mind-blowing. A human receptionist can only speak to one person at a time.
Obviously.
So if 3 people call at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, 2 are going on hold or straight to voicemail. But the AI talks to all 3 simultaneously, having 3 completely different personalized conversations without breaking a sweat.
It's incredible scalability. Then you have the fourth capability, which is automated confirmations. The moment the slot is agreed upon, the system triggers the confirmation SMS.
Boom, done.
And fifth is intelligent escalation. The AI is trained to recognize distress or complex edge cases.
Like the hot water example we started with.
Exactly. If it detects a real emergency like that flooded laundry room, it seamlessly transfers the call to the on-call human's mobile, or it sends an urgent SMS alert with the transcript.
But wait, pause there for a second. Let's talk about the actual conversational flow.
Okay.
How is this different from me yelling at my smart speaker in the kitchen to set a timer and it's still getting it wrong?
Okay.
What makes this actually sound human?
What's fascinating here is the underlying infrastructure. This isn't consumer-grade tech. It is powered by enterprise-grade Twilio infrastructure.
Twilio.
Yeah. Twilio is the engine that handles 193 billion messages and 22 billion calls globally. Because of that massive scale, their conversation relay technology delivers sub-500 millisecond latency.
Okay, explain why that 500 millisecond threshold matters. Why is that the magic number?
Because human conversation relies on micropauses. If an AI takes, say, 1.5 seconds to process what you said and reply, it feels like you are talking on a walkie-talkie.
Oh, I know that feeling. The caller thinks the line dropped, they say hello, and then the AI talks over them.
Exactly. Sub-500 milliseconds is basically the speed of human thought. It eliminates that awkward collision. Furthermore, the system has less than a 5% word error rate, and it handles interruptions natively.
Oh, interruption handling is huge. People rarely speak in perfect, complete sentences.
Never. We change our minds mid-sentence all the time. We say, actually, no, make it Friday instead. Wait, is the morning available?
Right.
When a caller speaks mid-sentence, the Twilio-powered AI instantly stops, listens, processes the new context, and adjusts its response.
No awkward robotic pause.
No awkward pause. It ensures high-stakes interactions feel completely natural. It is even HIPAA eligible, meaning the security standards meet the absolute highest requirements for healthcare providers.
Okay, having a fluid, natural conversation is incredible. But having a great chat is only half the battle.
True.
Because if I'm a business owner, data entry is my ultimate nightmare. A great phone call means nothing if I still have to sit down at the end of the day, listen to call recordings, and manually type all those new leads into my system.
Nobody wants to do that.
How does this integrate with the back end?
The call essentially becomes a live pipeline event. Because the AI is natively integrated into the business's specific CRM, it parses the unstructured audio of the conversation, extracts the relevant data points, and completes up to 95% of the CRM fields accurately.
Without a human doing anything.
Without any human intervention, this capability alone reduces operational costs by up to 80%.
I just want to clarify that. Are we talking zero manual data entry? Like if a brand new patient calls a clinic, the AI handles everything.
Zero manual entry. Let's walk through the mechanics of it.
Walk me through it.
The moment the call connects, the system queries the CRM via API. It checks the phone number. If it is a new caller, it automatically creates a new contact profile right there.
Nice.
As the conversation progresses, it logs the intent of the call, negotiates the time, and books the slot directly into the calendar. The conversational intelligence layer even analyzes the sentiment of the caller, whether they were frustrated, urgent, or relaxed.
That is wild.
And then it assigns any necessary follow-up tasks to your human staff.
And this works with the software Australian businesses actually use.
Yes, absolutely. It updates Cliniko, Service M8, Rex, CRM, Xero, HubSpot, Salesforce. Whatever platform the business runs on, the AI is updating it in real time.
That fundamentally changes daily productivity. But there's another massive operational leak this plugs, the dreaded no-show.
Oh, the no-show.
Right, it's one thing to book an appointment. It is another thing entirely to get that person to actually walk through the door. I saw this concept of the no-show dividend. How does voice AI solve human flakiness?
It solves it through relentless automated consistency. Human staff rarely have the time to call every single appointment on the books for tomorrow to confirm.
They're too busy.
Exactly. The AI handles a multi-touch reminder sequence automatically. It executes a 48-hour automated voice call reminder.
Right.
If they don't answer, it sends a 24-hour SMS where the client can simply text back yes to confirm or no to cancel. Then it sends a day of nudge with directions or parking instructions.
And what kind of impact does that sequence actually have?
That sequence alone reduces no-shows by 40%.
40%.
Yeah. There's a brilliant case study involving Memorial Hospital Gulfport. By implementing these conversational reminders, they reduced their no-shows by 28%, which translated to over $1 million in recovered revenue.
$1 million. Just from reminders.
Yes. And for a smaller local dental practice, saving just 6 no-shows a week recovers roughly $62,400 a year.
That's a full salary right there.
Yeah.
But cancellations still happen, right? Kids get sick, cars break down. What happens when someone replies to that 24-hour SMS and says they can't make it?
This is where the agentic nature truly shines. It doesn't just delete the appointment and leave a blank space in your calendar.
What does it do?
If someone cancels, the system immediately identifies the newly freed slot, accesses your waitlist, and instantly sends a localized SMS broadcast. It might say, "Hi, Sarah, an appointment just opened up at 2 p.m. today." Reply, "Yes," to claim it. The first person to reply gets the slot. The calendar updates automatically, and the cancellation is transformed from a pure revenue loss into an instantly refilled appointment.
That is brilliant.
It protects your calendar on the back end while continuously filling it on the front end.
So what does this all mean for the listener right now? Because if I'm hearing this, the results are undeniable. The temptation is to pull out my laptop, Google AI Receptionist, and sign up for the cheapest generic tool I can find for $20 a month.
I see people do that all the time.
Why go through the hassle of a bespoke custom build?
This raises an important question about the reality of deploying enterprise technology versus, well, consumer widgets. Generic, off-the-shelf platforms are incredibly dangerous for Australian enterprises for 3 key reasons.
Let's hear them.
First, they fail at what software engineers call the 21st edge case.
What does that mean in a real-world scenario?
A generic bot can handle the 20 most common basic questions, like, what are your hours, or where are you located? But the moment a caller asks something specific to your local business operations, say, do you process DVA claims for this specific type of physiotherapy? The generic AI completely breaks down.
It just doesn't know.
It lacks the deep mapped knowledge of your specific business logic. Second, generic platforms often rely on robotic, generic American voices that do not reflect your brand and instantly alienate Australian callers.
Yeah, you hear that accent and you instantly know it's a bot.
Yeah.
And from a financial perspective, those off-the-shelf tools usually run on a per-minute pricing model, right?
Almost always.
They essentially punish you for growing. The more successful your marketing is, the more calls you get, the more your phone bill skyrockets.
Exactly. But the third, and really the most critical risk, is data sovereignty. Many generic AI platforms route their data processing through offshore servers just to save money.
Oh, that's a problem.
A huge problem. If you are an Australian healthcare provider, a legal firm, or a professional services company, you cannot risk patient or client data being processed offshore. That is a direct violation of the Privacy Act 1988. The legal liability is immense.
Which is exactly why the bespoke route is the only viable option for serious businesses. And that's where C9 comes in.
Absolutely.
C9 is Australia's leading custom developer, and their bespoke approach is a totally different paradigm. They actually engineer custom conversational flows mapped to your actual real-world business scenarios.
Not just generic templates.
Right. They build native, local integrations with the exact CRMs Australian businesses use. And they design custom voice characters built for your brand's personality, speaking accurate, natural Australian English.
And from a legal and compliance standpoint, C9 ensures strict Australian data residency and sovereignty.
Keeping it all on shore.
Yes. Their underlying architecture on Twilio ensures full compliance, predictable monthly infrastructure costs rather than those unpredictable per-minute penalties, and a highly efficient deployment cycle.
How long does it usually take?
It typically takes just 4 to 8 weeks from the initial discovery phase to going live. You are investing in an engineered solution, not downloading a fragile widget.
Let's bring this all together and look at the final arithmetic, because the return on investment here fundamentally changes how a business scales.
It really does.
According to the conservative estimates we've discussed today, recovering just 3 to 6 bookings a week yields between $31,200 and $249,600 in incremental annual revenue, depending on your average service value.
And keep in mind, that is purely from answering the calls you're already receiving but missing.
Just stopping the bleed.
Exactly. That calculation doesn't even factor in the savings from the 40% reduction in no-shows, the massive reduction in administrative wage costs, or the compounding lifetime value of higher customer retention.
The payback period on a bespoke system like this is measured in days or weeks, not months.
True.
It is time to stop paying the missed call tax. Reach out to C9 Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company. You can book your no-obligation discovery conversation right now by visiting www.c9.com.au.
It is an investment in a structural advantage. Once the system is embedded into your operations, it becomes harder for your competitors to match your efficiency and responsiveness with every passing month.
Please don't forget to hit the follow button on the C9 Podcast Show and share this deep dive with other business owners and C-level executives in your network who are losing revenue to voicemail. They absolutely need to hear this.
I will leave you with this final thought to ponder as we wrap up today. If a bespoke AI can perfectly replicate your best receptionist today, never missing a single call, never double booking a calendar, and never forgetting a crucial follow-up, how will that fundamentally change what premium customer service means in your specific industry 5 years from now?
That's a huge question.
The businesses that figure that out first are the ones that will completely own the market.
Because the phone is still ringing, my friend. The only question is, who is going to answer it? We will catch you on the next deep dive.